Hi, everyone. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about nutrition today. I think I've touched on it in the past, but it's funny. People don't realize how food causes their body to react. They don't realize how beneficial or harmful food is for them. And it's a matter of once you figure that out, then things, fall into place. I know I've had gastro issues for so many years, probably most of my life. Then once I really kind of wiped the everything cleared off my plate completely, and slowly added in a few things, I was able to determine what foods caused me gastro distress, which foods gave me pain, and which foods made me feel good. When my stomach feels good, everything else feels good. So that's been huge for me. But I was, recently around some relatives and talking with them about, different issues they're having with their health. And I just, I was like, without really looking deep into it, it sounds like you need to really cut out dairy. Like dairy seems to be a bad trigger for you. And it's funny. That's for most people. But when you say that, most people will say, well, I don't really do dairy. I don't drink milk. But yet they just ate a bunch of cheese and other things like that. They'll eat that has dairy in it. I have to tell them, it's like that's still dairy. So what you think is not good, or how you think you're doing better, you're actually just doing a little bit better. But you still have a lot of those bad things in your food. For me, I love to have a salad every day, usually at noon, right? But if for some reason I've been so busy lately, I'm out and about and I don't get that salad, things are okay. When it comes to your nutrition, whatever, I don't like the word diet, but however you choose to eat, whatever that is for you, that is your chosen discipline. Um, you're better off, not making a decision rather than make a bad decision. So if you're trying to eat healthy and then you get stuck to where you can't really figure something out, don't cave and get fast food because that's a bad decision. You're better off just go ahead and not eating a couple hours and then getting something that your body needs or that is healthy. So many of us think that we can't go very long without eating because we get hangry or we're weak and all that stuff. And a lot of times that is just your blood sugar is dropping because your diet is so high on sugar. Once your diet is high on sugar and you don't eat a little bit, well, then you have that crash. I've been on plenty of bike rides before where people they're just like sweating, going crazy. They got to pull over, get something to eat right away. Well, they're not bonking. That's their blood sugars crashing because they're on such a high sugar diet. Sugar is pretty bad. Processed sugar messes you up quite a bit. I've cut out all sugar products during exercise. It's made a huge difference in my energy level. And, I just try to have like regular foods like peanut butter, bread, um, potatoes, baked potatoes, like things like that are not that hard to digest like you think they are. But they're way better in your system than that sugar. And I've discovered that I guess in the last year I've really honed more on that. You can always use sugar if you're in a jam, and have to get something in or raise your energy level. But otherwise, you're better off just staying with what works for you. It's always easy to let peer pressure, let media or things like that direct you in a different direction. But the thing is, you got to know you and know what your body likes. I've dialed that in pretty good. And I was telling somebody the other day, they said, well, they get busy and they get, they go through fast food because that's all that's around. And I said, I could even find fast food and find healthy options. A lot of times at a burger place, even just French fries are a better option than ordering a bunch of junk that's even worse fried. Like, I just don't think you need to get all that stuff, but but everybody has salad these days. I try to have mostly organic things just because it has no chemicals on there. I feel different when I eat cleaner food. I feel better about it. And I plan accordingly. Like when I'm on the road or working a race or whatever I'm doing, I usually have a bag of my water or my food in it that I can go for at least a day. Even though I don't have a lot of body fat, I can still go a couple of days without eating. And I would not wither and melt away. Might melt away in this heat, but I wouldn't just waste away. In these we started more of our training for races coming up, and I can tell the biggest thing when my energy level really drops, it's not so much calories as much as it's salt that my body needs. I can put a pinch of just table salt in my mouth, hold it underneath my tongue for just a few minutes or a while, either swish it around, swallow it, or spit it out. Sometimes getting that much salt in your stomach will make you not feel well. And I think you endurance athletes out there, you've seen people, you've been there where your belly is very distended towards the end of a race. That's just because there's stuff in there. Your body's not moving it out like you should. Now, a lot of people eat too much. They eat too much food. So I think it goes back to identifying what you really feel, what you're experiencing. And I've had people actually what I call a potato diet, where I put them on nothing but baked potatoes, no butter, no salt. It's pretty boring to eat nothing but baked potatoes. But a baked potato has everything your body needs, nutrient wise, its energy source. And what it does is it kind of resets your system. And once you go, 5 to 7 days is ideal, but a lot of people, 4 days is good. Once you do several days like that, and then you start adding another food with it, if you add something else with it, and you don't feel well, then that's usually going to be the food that makes you sick. So, and I can go, this it's a little more in depth than that, but basically a baked potato, no sweet potatoes, no butter, no salt, just a plain baked potato. And a lot of times it will reset your system and help you identify the foods that are messing with you. I think that's important, but a lot of people won't take the time. I've got a new client, and he, I could just see the angst look on his face as we started really talking about goals and diving into it. And everybody has that fear of, nobody has a fear of losing weight. People have the fear of being honest with themselves, really identifying how bad things are. And then once you accept that, it's easy to make the changes. But nobody really wants to be honest with themselves. And it's kind of funny that's our fear. I guess that goes back to vulnerability. I'm not really sure. Some of these things like this, I really have to kind of just process or talk through to figure out what does it really mean. And it's just it's that honesty with yourself. I think people are just terrified of being honest with themselves. It's too easy to ignore problems and not accept that they're a problem. So when people want to just say that it's not bad enough yet, a lot of times they need a doctor to scare them into doing it. And I think should be your last alternative. But you gotta be aware of where you are, be honest with yourself, and then come up. A lot of times we make that decision, you're not at rock bottom. But you got to do the things to start moving the needle, to make a difference in your life. So I don't know that I have anything to say, but Anything more to say on that? Gosh, my train of thought is all over the place. But I guess if I'm going to be unfocused, this is a good place to be. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can text me, email, call. I've got all kinds of programs on my website that identify with a lot of little issues like this. But I mean, you gotta take care of yourself first before you can help anybody else. And I think that's so important. And I always say that people figure everything out eventually. Hopefully, it's not on their deathbed, and they can make the decisions and choices sooner so they can still enjoy life. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye.